Hello everyone, this is Tim with Online Big Blue bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Well, we're going to do a quick show today. Two topics. First topic we are going to do is going to be Amani Toomer. Amani, it's not a tumor. Coming out and saying today that the Giants are lacking in wide receivers. I mean, you think about it, his exact statement was, I think it's lacking, which he's not wrong. I mean, if you think about it, out of all the picks, we didn't go any wide receivers in the draft. We decided that it was going to be more beneficial if we just bring in a bunch of undrafted free agents, and we hope they hit. And, you know, he had some assessments of certain receivers. You know, like you said, I'm a little disappointed with Sterling, or I should say I'm a little disappointed with Shepard. I don't know, Amani Toomer said. My dad always used to say to me, he's hell when he's well, he's just sick all the time. That's what I think when I think of him. He just always is there, always something hurt or something. He's not wrong. But you know, you don't go through a whole career without some types of injuries. Sometimes, you know, he could be a force to reckon with this year, Shepard. You know, in 2017, he missed 5 games because of migraines, an ankle injury, and a neck injury. You know, he missed some games again, you know, last year with some issues. But, you know, when he's on, he's not going to be your number one receiver, but he is going to be a good number 2. And if you take a look at even Golden Tate's 31 years old, missed some games. Still caught 49 passes, 679 yards. You know, he had the 4-game suspension for the PEDs. But, you know, he's entering into his 11th season. So, you know, you don't know what you're getting there. And then you have Darius. Again, with Darius, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if he's going to hit a sophomore slump. We have no idea. He could expand on his 48 receptions for 740 yards, you know, and a team high 8 touchdowns. But, you know, Amani's not wrong. You have to think about it that way. I mean, he's not wrong whatsoever. You know, and then he talks about, you know, it was a mistake to trade Odell. Well, I don't know if it was a mistake to trade Odell. I do think it was time for maybe Odell to move on. I was not upset when we traded Odell. I understood why we traded on Odell. Do I think that it was the right move? At the time, I would probably say yes. It was time for his career to progress to another level on another team. But I do have more of an issue with the fact that we did not address any of the wide receiver issues in the draft. We kind of just like, whatever. You know, we'll get a whole bunch of free. It reminds me of a couple years back when we didn't have any linebackers. And I was like, I'll just bring in a whole bunch of linebackers. You know, we'll find a diamond in the rough. And I've said it before, for every Victor Cruz, you have 200 Reggie White Juniors. So I hope all these guys they brought in hit. But you know what? Amani is pretty right on the money here. I mean, you have to look at it that way. I mean, we don't know what we would have gotten out of Odell. He still has some injuries. You know, he hasn't been able to stay healthy for a while now. You know, his production wasn't there in Cleveland. You could blame you could blame Baker Mayfield. You could blame the offense. You know. But like I said, I'm not sitting here going to bash Amani, and I'm not sitting here going to bash Gettleman. But I am going to say Amani has a valid point. We did not look into the future. We just decided to take our 10 picks or what exactly we had and bypass the position that is really lacking. And I have the same issue with the linebacking core. Linebacking core, we're like, we'll take 4 guys in the last 2 rounds. One of them will hit. Yeah, the odds of them sticking on the roster, I think we did a breakdown going back to, I think it was 99. There's something like a 7% chance that a 7th round pick is going to make the team and contribute the first year. So, I mean, I think that's wishful thinking on Dave Gettleman's part. But you know what? We have to just wait and see what's going to happen. But let's get into our other topic real quickly. It's going to be players that were on the 2019 roster who are currently on the bubble before we have any type of camps opening. we're going to pick just 3 players or maybe 4 players on the list. The first one's going to be on our list is going to be pretty easy to understand why. It's going to be Alex Tanning. Alex Tanning's been in the league for, 460 years? And I think has only thrown the ball 6 times or whatever exactly it is. And plus you bring in Colt McCoy and Cooper Rush. And I understand that Alex came in last year to be the mentor more for our old buddy Daniel Jones. Because, and we had Eli Manning there, so why would he mentor him? But, he was supposedly, like I said, I'm not doubting he wasn't. He supposedly was a good influence in the quarterback room. But we need to worry about the fact that if something happens to Daniel Jones, God forbid, or the fact that he hits a rookie second-year slump, hits the sophomore jinx, that we got someone behind them that could potentially win some games. We don't know what we have in Cooper Rush. We don't know what we have. We know what we have in Colt McCoy. Like I said, I find it funny that I was actually, and I've said it a million times, I was at Colt McCoy's pro day, and I can't believe it was almost like 10 years ago. That's crazy to me that he's been in the league this long. And, he's gotten his chance to start, and, would I say he gotten his full opportunity to start? And yeah, I would say he has, and he is what he is. But, like I said, with Cooper Rush, Colt McCoy is a professional, just like Alex Tanning, and I think Colt McCoy's got more of a resume. Cooper Rush could be an interesting surprise, and, if we're looking for someone in the quarterback room, he knows the Garrett system, or he knows the system Garrett's offensive coordinator ran in Dallas, because everyone seems to forget Garrett hasn't called plays in 5 years. So he had an offensive coordinator the last 5 years calling his plays. So if he runs a similar system, he'll be very familiar with the terminology and everything else because he was in the quarterback room in Dallas. So like I said, we'll put Alex Tanning number 1 on the bubble. Number 2 on the bubble is going to be Wayne Gallman Jr. Oh, Wayne, what happened to you? You came into the league with so much promise. I mean, 4th round pick, 140th pick. You had a pretty good year at Clemson, you were pretty good at Clemson. You came in that first year. I really thought that you were going to make a statement. You did finish with 476 yards rushing to go along with 34 receptions for 193 yards and a receiving touchdown. So you played well. He scored his first rushing touchdown back in week 17 against Dallas on a 1-yard run. So, I can't sit there and say, he was terrible. I can't sit there and say that he's been god awful. But, it's time. With bringing in Lewis to back up Barkley, and be more of a third down back. I mean, is Wayne gonna make the team now? Now I know we do not have a lot of depth behind our old buddy Wayne, old buddy Saquon. But like I said, I get worrisome that if we're taking a look at his career, I mean, he's going into year 4. So he really has done a lot since 17. I mean, 18, he had 2 starts. He had 51 rushes, 176 yards. And I understand 18, that's the year of the Barkley. That is the year of the Saquon. So, yeah, he didn't get the opportunities to run the ball like he should have. And then last year, he had an opportunity to make somewhat of an impact. Saquon gets hurt. He has, Wayne has a good game after he got hurt. And then basically Wayne disappears for the season. And he finishes the season with 29 rushes for 110 yards, 38 carries. 11 receptions, 102 yards. So bringing in Dion Lewis to back up Barkley. I think Hillman's still on the roster. But I can't see. You always have a surprise in camp, and I think you have more of an opportunity for an undrafted running back to make the team than you do a wide receiver. Only because of the fact that the running back position is you have fluidity, you know where to go with the ball, and like I said, you're going north south. But like I said, could he? I think he's going to have competition in camp. I'm not sure from whom yet, because the rosters aren't going to be set really until we get into camp. But I do think right now that he's on the roster bubble. And the last player that I'm going to have on the roster bubble is Corey Coleman. Coleman did not play, of course, last year. He got hurt, but we are bringing him back. Corey Coleman is the mystery. I mean, drafted by Cleveland in 16, 15th overall. I mean, he's gone through Cleveland Browns, Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots, and with the Giants. You know, his first season in Cleveland wasn't bad. 33 receptions, 413 yards, 3 touchdowns. So he's got the speed. You know, and then he kind of just fell off in 17. And then he kind of just, he knocked around on the Bills. You know, he was frustrated in Buffalo for not getting, first team reps and demanded to be traded. So what did they do? He was traded for a 7th-round pick. And then he was released. I should say he was traded to the Bills for a 7th-round pick, back 2020 7th-round pick. And, of course, then the Bills released him in September. Then the Patriots signed him on September 11th, and they released him September 17th when they signed Josh Gordon. I mean, but then he was re-signed September 29th. Then he was released again from the practice squad. So, I mean, his career's been a mess. And then, of course, he hurt himself in July 25th. Tore his ACL first day of training camp. He's ruled out for the entire season. And then we sign him back on a 1-year deal. What are we going to get from Corey? I don't know. But you bring in a glut of undrafted free agents. He's going to have his work cut out for him. Because we don't know how he's going to come back from the ACL injury. We don't know if he is going to be ready to play or ready to play at the level he needs to be. I mean, the only thing he did on 18 for the Giants was he returned punts and kicks. Kickoffs were, he had 24 kickoffs for 617 yards. He 25.7 yards, and he had the longest one of 51. And we have other guys on the team that are much better special teams player than Coleman is at the wide receiver position. So I think he's going to have more of an uphill battle trying to make the roster. But like I said, those are the 3 players that I personally think are on the roster bubble right now. Alex Tanney, Wayne Gallman Jr., and Corey Coleman. But again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. If you could if you could subscribe, if you could ring the bell, if you could do all those fun things, that would be awesome. But you know what? It would even be better if you could if you could subscribe, if you could ring the bell. I'm just joking with you guys. It's been a long day, but again, like I said, I do appreciate doing this. We are going to be doing a little bit newer format coming up soon, and that newer format's going to be talking more New York sports. So, but again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, thanks for listening.